Good day, folks. Welcome back to Merton Hyundai and Ed's Garage. Today we're looking at the 2022 Kona N-Line. That is right, we finally have a regular N-Line to look at. So I think I've already done the video on the Kona N-Line Ultimate, so if you haven't already checked that out, check out the description below. It'll be in there. First off, I'd like to apologize for the delay in getting a video out. I know it's been quite a few weeks now. I was on vacation for a little while, and I've actually been going through and trying to satisfy the YouTube algorithm by cleaning out the channel. So I don't know if you've been paying attention or not to the channel, but if you have, you may notice that a lot of my videos are gone. I've actually taken out a lot of the non-car review videos. So in case you're wondering what was going on, that's what was going on. Anyway, let's look at the 22 Kona N-Line. Now, of course, this one has the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, makes about 200 horsepower. It's a hell of a lot of fun to drive. This one does have the DCT transmission, so that is a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Very, very quick shifts and very smooth shifts as well. So pretty good on gas as well still. Gets about 8.2 liters per 100 kilometers on average, which is not bad. I mean, keep in mind, this is the performance version of the vehicle. Not the full performance, though. That we have the N coming pretty soon. This is just the N line. So it's sort of partial performance and also appearance, a package upgrade in the N-Line trim. Now you've got the N-Line and the N-Line Ultimate. This is, of course, the lower version of that. So that's why I wanted to do the video on this. What do you get for your money in an N-Line? Well, let's start with the styling. So first off, you'll notice we have the black mirror caps there and these really beautiful wheels. You got the aluminum alloy 18-inch rims. Now these are wrapped in a Goodyear Eagle Touring. So a pretty good tire on that as well. And really, really love the rims. Very intricate designs going there. Now, of course, further styling cues on the N-Line include the little N-Line badge right here in the front grille. And you can see that the front fascia is a little bit different as well. You still have the air curtain pass-through, which of course creates that curtain of air over the wheels to reduce aerodynamic drag. You got these beautiful LED daytime running lights and projector headlights. Now, they are a regular halogen on the N-Lines. On the Ultimate, of course, you get the LED headlights. Looking further up onto the windshield, you can see we've got the forward-facing camera there. So that, of course, is going to provide the autonomous emergency braking as well as lane keep assist. And coming around to the side, you can see we've got another N-Line badge. Got the marker lights on the mirrors here for your turn signals. So that is to allow the people who are in your blind spot to see what your intentions are. Now, of course, we also have proximity entry on this as well. And then coming around to the back, again, N-Line specific tail. You've got the sort of, it's not really a rear splitter, but the fascia here does look a little bit different. Got these little lines here. Twin chrome exhaust as well. Really nice redesigned tail light assembly for 2022. And just all around a good look. All right, having a quick look in the trunk. So a couple things to note. This, of course, is removable. It does come out. You got the 60/40 split rear bench. And the kind of neat thing here is when you fold down one of the seats, you'll notice that the floor actually ramps up onto the back of the seat. Now, if the floor is in its upper position, because that's actually one of the other little tricks this vehicle has. So you put the floor in its upper position. Now it's actually a smooth transition right from the bumper all the way over the back seat. Now, it doesn't matter. Obviously, both seats go down the same way. And of course, when this is out, you have a huge amount of space. So it's actually pretty good storage, pretty good usable space. You've also got a little cubby hole right here on the right-hand side as well. All right, I've jumped into the back seat here, and I've left the front seat basically where I would keep it to drive it. As you can see, I've got a little bit of room in front of my knees. For 2022, the vehicle did extend a little bit. They've got a little tiny bit more leg room in the back. We do have enough room underneath the seat to put our feet, so it's a nice flat floor. And on this one, there's also a center cup holder armrest. Guys, I also have to apologize if I get any weird mic noise from my jacket hitting it. Sorry about that. I tried to position it so that that wouldn't happen, but it probably is. So again, sorry about that. Also on the back seats here, both of the seat backs are a solid cover. So if you do have kids in the back kicking the seat, that energy is not going to transfer through as easily. You've also got a storage net on the back of the passenger seat, nothing on the driver's seat, unfortunately. All right, so next up is the front seat, but before I get in, I want to point out All Konas, with the exception of the base model, do get these nice side rails. So if you do want to put a kayak up here or whatever, you can get the cross rails and put those on there. So those cross rails can actually mount anywhere, which is kind of neat because they just kind of clamp on to the side rails. So pretty standard in Hyundai. You'll notice that on the Tucson and the Santa Fe and Palisade, etc. So before I jump in, the driver's seat does have height adjustment, so it is a manual seat. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6-way adjustable manual seat. The passenger side, also manual, of course, is 4-way adjustable. It doesn't have the height adjustment. So if you want the power seat, you need to go up to the Ultimate trim. All right, so let's jump in here and have a look at our legroom and headroom. Okay, so sitting fairly straight up, I got a lot of headroom here, and of course I can raise and lower this seat. Let's raise it all the way up and see what happens. It just keeps going and going, doesn't it? Holy moly. Okay, so there we go. So that is as high as I can get with that seat. Now I'm 6'2". I've got a split torso. I'm basically, or a split 50-50 split torso to leg ratio. But yeah, as you can see, there we go. So that's all the way down. Now, as far as legroom in the front, as you can see, my legs are perfectly comfortable where they are. If you're a little bit taller than me, you can move the seat even further back. So there we go. So it's, I could probably drive like that as well. Now, let's have a look and see what sort of features we have in this vehicle. Now, this one does have, of course, the push button start, so let's go ahead and fire it up. And it's also got remote start. And the cool thing with the remote start system is that when you use it and then you get into the vehicle, it just kind of comes to life. You don't have to start the vehicle a second time. You don't have to press the start button, you don't have to turn the key or anything like that. It just comes on, and it recognizes that you're in the vehicle using that proximity entry key. All right, steering wheel is tilt and telescopic. And we're going to jump over to the left side of the dash first. So you've got your dimmer switch there, your hill descent control. So hill descent keeps you going at a specific speed up to 40 kilometers an hour down a hill. So if you let go of the brake at 30, it'll maintain that 30 kilometer an hour descent speed. That's just your traction and stability control there. The steering wheel itself is fully heated, 360 degrees all the way around. You can see the button for that right down here. You've got automatic headlights as well. And you've got the one-touch turn signal. So if you tap the stalk, it'll flash 3, 5, or 7 times, depending on what it's set to. On the side here, you just got your window wiper stalk, nothing special. And on the steering wheel itself, we have all of our multimedia controls on the left-hand side here, including a customizable button. I usually set that up to just reject phone calls and cancel voice prompts. There's your voice recognition there, which works with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on the screen, which, by the way, is wireless. So you do get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The mode button just switches where music's coming from. This is your answer call, phone, volume, of course, and switch between tracks next to previous or go to next or previous preset. On the right-hand side here, you can see we've got our cruise control buttons. It's not adaptive cruise control unless you get to the ultimate trim level, but you do have lane follow assist. So that's where it's able to actually see the lines on the road and steer itself around corners to some degree as well. It's not an autonomous vehicle, but it does pretty good. These two buttons here, they all control the little center screen up there. And I'll show you real quick some of the screens in here. So you've got your drive info, your accumulated info, your digital speedometer, which of course you can also switch to miles pretty easily just by holding down the OK button, which is that guy there. So I'm basically using these two controls here. So this one to jump across the screen from left to right, and then this one to go up and down within the submenus, and then of course this is also an OK button when you press it. All right, so let's see what else we got in here. So there was our digital speedometer. If I jump over one screen, I've got our lane keep assist screen, and then our attention level, so this vehicle can monitor how attentive we are while driving. And of course you have your tire pressure monitor, and then our automatic or our all-wheel drive system. Now, as you can see, as I put it into drive, there's power going to the rear wheels right away, and as I accelerate a little bit, it's just instantaneously putting power to the rear wheels. So in regards to the all-wheel drive system on this vehicle, it's actually quite good. It's a system designed and engineered right here in Canada by a company called Magna International, and it's a predictive all-wheel drive system, which means it doesn't wait for the front wheels to slip before putting power to the rear, like so many other companies. What it does is it puts power to the rear right away under any acceleration, and then as needed going forwards. Also, if at higher speeds, if you go around turns and whatnot, it's actually able to shove a little bit of power to the outside wheels to take that curve a little bit better. It's called H-Track, and it's really, really good. Now, with the all-wheel drive system putting power to the rear right away, basically what that means is if you've got snow underneath your front wheels and dry pavement on the rear wheels, hypothetically speaking, it doesn't wait for those front wheels to start slipping first. You're going to start to move right away, which is actually going to help for your tire tread wear, but also even driveline wear. Now, it also has down here a lock switch, so you can lock the all-wheel drive system so that it takes all the guesswork out and just makes it a 50-50 split full-time four-wheel drive up till about 60 kilometers an hour, and then it'll kind of taper back off to front-wheel drive again as well. All right, but as for the rest of the stuff in this section here, so if I jump one over, we have our user settings, so driver assistance settings. I can actually change, how quickly the warning timing happens for the forward crash alert system. Here's a driver attention warning system, or leading vehicle departure alert, which is pretty cool. So that's if a vehicle starts to drive off in front of you at a green light or whatever, and you haven't moved yet, you'll actually get a warning saying, hey, you can go. Forward safety, there's our active assist for forward crash active assist. Lane safety for assist, so that's just where it's able to steer around the corners and whatnot at higher speeds. This of course has the safe exit warning as well, which is kind of nice. So if you're parallel parked and there's a car coming down the road, it'll actually give you a warning to basically help you or help remind you not to open the door if there's a car coming. Then parking safety, of course, rear cross traffic alert. So that's going to pick up vehicles passing behind the car or pedestrians, and then warn you when the backup camera is on, for instance, if there's a car coming from the sides. Okay, so also in here, let's see, we have our customization for our instrument cluster, so you can actually change the theme. So put it on a little bit of a different theme, just changes the color of those two lines, as you can see. And then we can turn on the welcome sound, which is kind of fun. Oh. Yeah, so that's where you can kind of customize the vehicle to the way you want it. All right, so moving on to the center console, we do of course have two cup holders here, a nice storage container. It's quite deep, lots of room in there. And then further up we have our auto start stop system, so this vehicle will shut the engine off at stop signs and stop lights. But you can disable that right there. You got heated seats on both sides, and they are 3 levels. And of course you have your drive mode knob, so that allows you to put the vehicle into normal, sport, and smart. So normal mode basically is normal. Sport mode will tighten up the steering wheel, but also give you a little bit of low-end kick. And then a smart mode is kind of like our eco mode. It's going to keep you in a nice economical driving mode. Or switch over to dynamic mode if you start to drive aggressively. Now the shifter itself is a nice N-specific shifter, which is pretty cool. Got the nice red line and the stitching on the leather there. Up in here we got the USB port for wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if your phone is incapable of wireless. You also have a charging port here, which of course can be used for tablets as well as phones. And notice that they are both lit up as well. So many car companies still are not lighting up the USB port, so at night these are very visible. And then to the right you have the 12-volt power outlet. Above that, standard climate control system. Nothing too special here. It's basically AC, fan speed, where the air is coming from, etc. Pretty simple. And above that you have your 8-inch touchscreen. Now this is a non-polarized screen, so you can use this even while wearing polarized sunglasses. And you'll notice it's actually going to work with my gloves, which is kind of nice. Let's turn that off. So in here under the all apps menu, you can see we've got phone BlueLink, which I'll mention in a moment. There's your radio, your media for your phone options, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, voice memo, quiet mode. So quiet mode will actually shut the front speakers, or sorry, the rear speakers off and limit the volume in the front speakers. So if you have kids in here or whatever going to sleep, they can actually sleep easy. Over to the right, we've got some options here as well. So valet mode is for, that's part of BlueLink. So if you want to limit access to the vehicle, but still allow a valet to park it. Setup is where you can do things like add phones and whatnot. And then of course, notifications is part of BlueLink as well. So BlueLink notifications. And then your user manual, you can actually get a digital user manual. So the BlueLink system, there's actually a couple buttons on the mirror here as well. Call for roadside assistance, call for Google navigation assistance, and emergency assistance. So what it is essentially from your cell phone, you can access some of the car's features. So you can remotely start the car, unlock the doors, lock the doors, find the car on a map. And then in the built-in systems inside the vehicle, if you get into an accident, it can call emergency services for you. You can, of course, use those buttons there as well. And it could also provide you with diagnostic information, sending it directly to your phone via notifications. So BlueLink in Canada is free for 3 years. So not only do you get roadside assistance for free for 5 years, you get warranty coverage on almost everything for 5 years or 100,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. You also get BlueLink for free for 3 years, which is quite nice. 3 months free of SiriusXM satellite radio on equipped vehicles as well. This one does have SiriusXM radio as well. All right, so let's have a look at the backup camera here. So when I put the car into reverse, you can see we've got the backup camera coming up, and it's actually a really clear image. The camera doesn't quite do it justice, especially because right now there is sun hitting the backup camera a little bit as well. So we've got some sun flare in there, but notice the grain on the floor, on the ground here. It's actually quite clear. So when I tap the screen, I've got settings up here in the right-hand corner. I can change the guidance lines, and I can also change the brightness and contrast and everything as well. And of course, if I turn the steering wheel, it moves those yellow lines to make it easy to figure out where we're going to end up. Now, quickly having a look at the radio screen, you can see we've got HD radio options, and all of our presets, whether they're AM, FM, or satellite XM, are on the left-hand side. So you don't have to actually switch from one band to another, like you can see here. To go from your AM presets to your FM presets, you can actually just tap whichever preset is the one that you want to go to, which is kind of nice, so you don't have to switch first. Pretty easy to use interface here. You can see the favorites right there, or the preset button. That's where you can quickly enable different presets. Now, of course, when you're in this screen, you won't see the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto button anywhere on the screen. So what they do is they give you this little star here, which is actually a customizable button. So if I tap that the first time, you can see it gives me different options as to what I could use that button for. I always put it on phone projection, which is essentially Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, there's also that customizable button on the steering wheel. There it is. And there's the mode button, which we can also change on the steering wheel to access specific media sources. All of that is customizable so that you're not having to go into, 2, 3, 4 different buttons to get to different places. Makes it really, really easy to use. And the fun thing is the interesting or good thing is when you hit the button the first time, not knowing what it is, it takes you to that customizing section where you can then choose what you want it to do. So Hyundai's done a great job with their infotainment system, which I've said time and time again, and it's repeated by other reviewers that you'll see on YouTube as well. But try it out if you haven't actually seen one in person. It works really easy, and even my 83-year-old mother can work it quite easily. So looking at the rest of the stuff in here, is not too much left, but we've got sun visors that fold out. Of course, they do slide out. They both have lights and they both have mirrors. And then we got a sunglass holder up here as well. Individual map lights that can be turned on independently or all at once. Of course, there's another light back there as well. And then we got the microphone up here. There's actually a dual mic system, so that it works a little bit better and picks up audio a little bit better as well. And then really just the stitching on the steering wheel and the N-specific steering wheel, which I forgot to mention earlier. I think that pretty much covers it. Great little car though. We actually have somebody coming to test drive this one a little bit later today, and I figured I'd pull it out and make a video and send it to them so that they can see what they're getting into. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or if it was at all helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to help me out a little bit more, maybe share it as well. In any event, thank you so much for getting this far. I appreciate your support, and I look forward to making more videos to help you guys out. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day.